All right, all right, all right. There he is. How you feeling, my man?
Wow, Big O, what a spectacle that was.
It's fun,
It's
huh?
been a while since I've seen an ass kicking like that, Big O.
And
Wow.
listen, take it from an old man. We haven't seen shit like this since the 80s. And we haven't seen a front office like this since the 70s. This is this kind of stuff that hasn't been happening here for 40 and 50 years. I want you to know. So you are covering something incredibly special.
Yeah.
Best coach since Shula, best quarterback since Marino, best front office since Bethard and Danny Thomas of the 70s. Okay? This front
Mm-hmm.
office kicks everybody's ass in the 80s, 90s, and 2000. In the 2000s, there's not much to kick ass because there's nothing there. But that's the kind of glass ceilings they're breaking right now, Safid.
Yeah, this was a historic performance for the day. A performance we haven't seen since the 60s. The Dolphins needed only 3 points, and they would have set the NFL record for points in a game. That was a really unique situation at the end of the game there because everybody in the building kind of knew what was going on. And the Dolphins had a fourth down play, and sure enough, they kept the offense on the field, and Mike White was instructed to take a knee and call some fans to boo here at the stadium, which was kind of funny because Tyreek Hill was definitely screaming at everybody like, "What the hell are you guys booing for? We just put up 70 points in this game." I don't know, classy or not, it is what it is. But look, plain and simple, the Dolphins have the most explosive offense in the NFL. Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa are working together like, man, they're like peanut butter and jelly, spaghetti and meatballs. I can't think of a better combination for those two guys right now because of how seamless they seem to be running this offense together. And when you look at how good they played today, and you look at the opponent they're gonna have next week. Next week is not gonna be no cakewalk at all, Big O.
Oh no, they're in
Buffalo
Buffalo.
won really well. Buffalo had a good game today in Washington. They took care of business. They didn't score double the amount of points like the Dolphins did today, but the stage is set, Big O. The stage is set. The Dolphins
Well,
got to go into
Buffalo
Buffalo and
faced
take the division.
a much tougher defense. Actually, let's be honest.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be
This
honest.
this team this team Denver had no defense.
No,
They were
Washington
out
does.
of it all day today. The Broncos are, they have so much more expectation because Sean Payne's the coach, because Russell Wilson's the quarterback, because they have some Walmart money owning them right now. But the fact of the matter is they're a rebuilding team, just like this team was how many years ago, right?
Mhm.
Um, this team is far from a finished product, and today they just so happen to be far from anything near competent or competitive. The Dolphins took advantage of them, and on top of that, the Broncos had so many plays. They had two touchdowns were called back from penalties. They were just a complete mess, and they ran into a buzzsaw in Miami here. And it's an incredible day to see how the Dolphins franchise has taken this to a new level. I did not expect Devin A. Chain to run like that. I did not expect Raheem Mostert to run like how he's run. Both guys had what, four
No,
touchdowns
no,
today?
but they need Dalvin Cook and they need Jonathan Taylor and they need Saquon Barkley and they need offensive linemen.
You know what it is though, Big O, about that conversation though. Every other team in the league needs the players. This is the only team that needs that has the coach that could scheme it up outside of Kyle Shanahan.
Oh no,
There's
but
a
they have
big
the running
difference.
backs. They truly
I,
don't need the running back. And now, if you wanted to give it to them, because that's how I reported it always from day one.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to give them Dalvin Cook on low hanging fruit or Jonathan, sure, bro, they'll
Yeah,
take
anybody will take it. Why
anybody
not?
off your hands for low hanging fruit. Oh, you
For
want to give me
sure.
Jalen Ramsey for a third rounder, bro? Let's do it. Let's go. You know what I mean? That's what people don't understand. Their
mm-hmm.
interest. They're not. And it's funny because everybody, including yours truly, I never said they needed a running back or a quarterback, but I was all for, hey, go get a lineman, go trade for lineman. And those guys were like, yeah, we're good. We're good. Like Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer never ever worried about the offensive line like we did. They never worried about the running game like we did. They never worried
Well,
about the
there
quarterback
was,
like we did. It's funny, you
yeah,
know?
there was reason to worry though. Let's not act like there was not reason to worry. But look, sometimes scheme does better than scheme and coaching. Sometimes the scheme is better than the talent that's around you, right? And what Mike McDaniel and what this offensive line has done here is created a zone scheme, running scheme that essentially sends guys to the second level. It needs all 11 players to work, including the quarterback. You got Tyreek Hill, who was like second in the league in receiving, making great blocks. Every player is making a movement or an adjustment, and they're making it work, man. This is an offense of the highest order. Obviously, you've seen this with the 70 points that were scored today. But Mike McDaniel can scheme it up with the best of them, and he's got to go take the roof off in Buffalo now. I mean, that's plain and simple. The 70 was nice, cool, pat on the back. Would have been cool if you got the record. I don't think it's least classy or not more classy of them if they didn't get it, but you got to go and put it up in Buffalo. You got to go show the Bills that you own this division now. You got to go take the division from Buffalo, and you got to go show the rest of the NFL even more what you showed them the first 3 weeks.
That's
you got to
right.
show them that you're a playoff team, and you don't want to come to Miami when the postseason comes around, because the Dolphins will be hosting a playoff game if they keep playing the way they've been playing.
Amen to that. I'm with you. By the way, Robert Griffin III just tweeted this out or X'd it out. The Denver Broncos didn't respect Mike McDaniel enough to give him an interview for their head coaching vacancy, but he respected them enough to not kick a field goal to set the all-time record for points in an NFL game. He showed them mercy. That's how you kill them, with kindness.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple ways you could look at this here. I wish they would have kicked the field goal. Like, who cares? The Broncos were getting their ass beat at that point. Like, who cares? You're not showing them any more class or less class. I mean, if you wanted to show them any respect, you wouldn't have gone for it 4th and 1 from your 1 yard line, and had, I think, Mostert score that one touchdown, and that was in the third quarter. So, it can go back and forth there. Did the Dolphins lay down and have mercy on the Broncos? Yeah, sure. They should have went for the record. They never have 70 points in the game again. But it's hard to say that too with this guy.
By the way, to back you up, I'm going to go with what Sean said a little earlier on the show, that if you really were not trying to, lay a little extra mustard on them, you wouldn't have Mike White in a game that's over already throwing downfield for a touchdown to Chosen. You would, when you bring in Mike White, the game was over. All you had to do was hand off for the rest of that quarter, and you would have easily won the game, and you still stayed aggressive. So, in a way, it kind of defends your point about going for the three-pointer, because
they should have went for it.
White air it out. Why not go for the field goal, right?
They should have went for it. Mike McDaniel would have been home, relaxing after the game, just sitting down. Like, my offense just scored the most points in an NFL game. That would have been cool to kind of hang your hat on. But I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the season, all this doesn't matter, Big O.
Right.
It don't matter. It's just another win. They were the buzzsaw today. They didn't run into one, and they got to get ready and put this behind them real quick, because Buffalo had a shutout in Washington, I believe, right?
Yes.
30 to something.
Yes, sir.
So, that's the game they have to worry about. And, I mean, hopefully they bring some plays from this game over to that game. We know you can't transfer the points, but, obviously really impressive win, a very historic win.
By the way, I'm told they got 3 points at the end. Okay, Washington did get 3 points. Okay,
I think the Dolphins just scored again, Big O. The Dolphins just scored again. I'm going to tweet that out, actually. That was funny.
Oh, God. Bro, what happens with Jeff Wilson? Poor guy when he gets back, because the A-Chain kid has exploded.
Yeah, that was a stellar showing, man. I was not expecting that. I thought A-Chain maybe needed a little bit more time, but this kid's healthy again. I know he had an injury coming up from, at the end of the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
But that was impressive. And personally, I had Raheem Mostert in a daily fantasy, so I'm like, damn, man, what happened? And then boom, Raheem Mostert had 4 touchdowns himself too. This team, they can run the ball with anybody, Big O. Who's the best run defense in the NFL right now? Put them up against the Dolphins, because the Dolphins will run on them.
Probably San Fran. Fran is one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, the two most complete teams are San Francisco and Miami right now.
Yeah, they are. They're on a collision course. They're on a collision course for real. And it's crazy to think about when you come to terms with that, because they played last year, yes, but the derivatives of their offense are very much the same. And the 49ers do have a better defense, yeah. Look, the Dolphins the offense did this job today. The defense needs to tighten up a lot more, man. They almost were like, this could have been a 21-21 game. Could have been probably 28-28 at halftime if the Broncos didn't get those penalties that kind of bailed out the Dolphins. There was an illegal shift, I think, or something like that, or a holding call. Holding is obviously on the offense, but there were a couple plays that could have went the Dolphins' way negatively on defense, and this could have been a different game, Big O. So defense is still the same thing I'm kind of worried about the most, but I would say that all those guys have played defense against Josh Allen before, and they know his tendencies and they know they're going to mess up, and they're probably going to talk to Vic Fangio like, yo, Vic, we played this guy a couple times already. Sure, he's beaten us a couple times, but we got really close the last 2 times. So we'll see, man. This was a great game today. 70 points is a, Dolphins record. We might not see this many points scored in a game for a long time, but it's all about next week.
Did you see Craycraft, Wilkins, or Phillips in the locker room? Any news there?
I'll be honest, I was in the Broncos side of things a lot more than I was in the Dolphins side. When I got into the Dolphins locker room, it was great because Mike White was getting interviewed, and Tua jumped in and said, hey, Mike White called his own play for that play, which Mike White kind of denied to me. Mike White's one of my favorite kids, probably one of the first kids I ever interviewed when I started becoming a sports writer when he was in high school, and he committed to USF long time ago. But so I trust Mike White when he said he didn't do that. Tua even jumped into Armstead's interview at the end of the locker room session. So Tua was obviously in an amazing mood. And he should be, man, 300 some odd yards. Did you see at halftime, Big O, this guy, Justin Herbert, threw 10 more completions than Tua and had like less than 20 yards fewer, man. What do you do with that cannon arm if you don't know how to use it?
Bro,
It was an incredible display,
you're
man.
Preaching to the choir. I've been trying to walk people off that whole crap that I get it. Justin Herbert is gifted. The Lord blessed him with all that talent. Tua is still the better quarterback. Still the better quarterback.
Agree with you. And one's got a coach that really has everything kind of lining up for him, man. Mike McDaniel's doing a better job than almost every other coach in the league right now. Coach of the year candidate for sure.
I got to tell you something. I need to call some lawyers or something. I need to find out if I can sue some people here.
About who are you going to sue, man?
I'm going to sue Boomer Esiason. I'm going to start suing some others because, 2 years ago, before all these yards and all that, I said Tua is Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And, our boy Adam Beasley laughed at my ass. That's all right. I got the last laugh. He was dead wrong about Tua, and that's cool. But others have also laughed at me because at that moment it sounds freaking crazy because of what I see at that moment, which was accuracy, anticipatory skills, and ball placement. To me, that's what makes a great quarterback. I don't give a shit if you're 6'6". I don't care if you can run like a deer, and I don't care if you can throw it out of the stadium. That will never make you a great quarterback if you're not intelligent, if you don't have anticipatory skills, if you don't have ball placement skills. If you cannot do some of those things, you're not ever going to be a great quarterback. So for me, what I can't have is Boomer Esiason going on national television today saying, hey, he reminds me of Joe Montana. You're 2 years behind my ass, bro. All right? These people are getting on the bandwagon a little too late for my liking, Safid.
I agree, man. And look, you're 2 years behind. My middle name was Tank for Tua a couple years ago, Big O.
That's right.
Me and Omar were riding the trade,
but Omar gets off and gets on and gets off and then gets on.
I don't know, man. That guy's been on a lot more, more than I was. But man, the season before Tua was in the draft, man, I was already calling for it. You saw the kid play at Alabama. You saw how great he was. You see the left arm, and you see how he does with good receivers, right? All those kids he had at Alabama were good. Judy being one of them today. Waddle being one of them as well. There you go. The Dolphins had 70 points. Jalen Waddle didn't even fucking play today, man. Excuse my language. Can you believe that?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Dude, they scored 70 without Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's a number one receiver on like 28 other teams in the NFL. They didn't score a single point with him on the field today, and they put up 70 points.
It's amazing, dude. What'd you think of Van Ginkel again this week?
What was that?
What'd you think of Van Ginkel again this week?
I didn't even watch the defense, man. There was too much offense to watch, Big O. No, Van Ginkel is really good, man. That one play is just Javon Holland, him. These guys are opportunistic when they need to be. It's a very opportunistic defense. They need to be a little bit more opportunistic too. But when you're in the right place in the right time, good things happen. That
Yeah,
happened
well,
to
look
Holland,
at
and that
Holland.
happened to AVG, and that happened to Agba too. Agba had a play. Agba had two plays in this game, and you and I last week were talking a little bit. I was concerned about Agba maybe fading, and he just jumped right back into the picture today. It's good when you can provide depth. It's good when you can kind of show out and play. He played a little bit better, than Phillips did, than Chubb did today. But every player on this team, there's going to be a game or a third down or a series or whatever the case may be where they're going to be expected to make a play. And it's up to them to make it when they do. If they don't, it's going to be a loss. And if they do, it's going to be a win. And depending on that and how far the Dolphins kind of go with this season, we'll see how far they do go. But it's all going to depend on that, man. Good players got to make good plays at the right time. And Dolphins have made some really good plays through 3 weeks so far.
Where is the Dolphins in the power rankings coming this week for Safid Deen?
Yeah, I mean, look, Tua's not playing Brock Purdy's not playing like Tua. So Dolphins got to be number one, man.
I don't have you know what? If somebody put Dolphins 2 and San Fran 1 only because they've been proving it,
sure,
I can live with that too. But I think they're 1 or 2. Tua Tagovailoa, where does he stand in the MVP race?
Oh, number one without a doubt, far ahead. Nobody else is close. No one is close. I don't think anyone is close.
Where does Mike McDaniel stand in the head coach of the year race?
Same with the San Fran. Same with the San Fran probably. I would say he's number one, but if you're gonna do same conversation as the San Fran. If you did 1 or 2, it wouldn't even put me. I wouldn't pass it, but I would put Mike up there. I put Mike number one.
And where would you put Chris Greer for executive of the year?
Chris Greer, executive of the year. I mean, Ramsey's not here. Ramsey's not playing. That's the only big move that he made.
Fangio.
Yeah.
David
okay,
Long.
Sure. Those guys are not doing.
A-Chain got 200 yards.
That's the one move.
Talking about.
That's the one move. All those other guys didn't do much.
Well, Fangio did. Did something.
Sure.
I mean, the run defense sucked the first week, and he has shut it down the last 2 weeks.
They improved
right?
The last 2 weeks, yeah.
Right.
So we got some instant defense, instant offense, instant defense. Can't go wrong with either one of those.
Bro, he elevated a receiver from the practice squad that got a touchdown. Well, they brought back Van Ginkel. They found Kendall Lamb, dude.
If you would have threw a block out there for me, I would have scored a touchdown, Big O.
Yeah, they brought the left guard in, and he helped out too. Come on, he's done some moves.
Yeah.
With a limited draft this year, he made a very impactful pick with A-Chain.
I'm gonna have to look at what the other GMs did, but Chris Greer is my guy.
Yeah, boy, he's, I'm just top to bottom, man. It's just
they're looking really good. Really good.
We're not used to any of this, bro. We're not used to competence. We're used to dysfunction. We're not used to real quarterbacks. We're used to game managers and mediocre guys. We're not used to really good coaches. We're used to smart front offices. This is all new to us, dude. We haven't experienced this in decades.
This is incredible. I just had a Hard Knocks flashback when you think of Ocho Cinco here and Joe Philbin and Ryan Tannehill and look at all the mess ups that all these guys came, man, and the nerve of these people to put this on the product on the field and tell us this team is going to be good, this and that. Well, you're not going to tell us no more. We see what's going on.
Yeah.
But look, Big O, it was an incredible display today by Miami. The whole league is on notice about this offense and what they can do. I mean, Big O, in halftime, they had 35 points. No other team in the league. I mean, did anybody even score 35 in a game this week?
Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo got close, right? They scored 30. Oh, they scored 37? Okay, so 37.
All right. One other team, man. They were 35, and they scored more than the rest of the league the whole day. Today, the Texans even scored 37 today. You take 37 and 37, and it's a little bit more than 75, but why not? This was an incredible display.
Chiefs have 34 right now, 12 minutes into the third quarter.
Ain't nobody scoring 50, 60, 70, though, Big O.
It's crazy, dude. Huh? Mahomes what? Oh, Mahomes hurt his ankle. Wow.
Yeah, it looked like he hurt his ankle, but he could probably sit the rest of this game. Nobody's going to – the Bears ain't scoring 30-something in the second half.
No. That's right. What happened in that Jags game? That's crazy that the Texans killed them. All right, what do you got going on in the USA today so folks can so Dolphins can check you out, my friend?
For sure. I'm talking about how they didn't go for the record. I'm writing a little story about that. It was interesting that the fans booed, but interesting about what Mike McDaniel said about it afterwards. Like me and you talked about it. They should have just went for it, in my opinion. Also working on Sean Payton. I was in the locker room, or I was in the press conference after that. To hear his reaction, he spoke for only 4 minutes, so I'll let you know how upset he was. And kind of recapping Denver's 0-3 start. And stay tuned this week, man. It's a football podcast. Should be very interesting after this one. And I can't wait for Dolphins Bills next week, man. It's hard not to look ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Follow him on Twitter at Safid_Deen and catch his work at the USA Today. Safid, as always, thank you, my friend. We'll catch up. What is it? Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. We'll see each other Tuesday.
You got it, baby.
Easy, Big O.
Good.
Thank you.
There you go. TheBaptistHealth.net/ortho. Miami Dolphins post-game report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.